Good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of GO Podcast. Your host, Country Boy, here with another fantasy football edition for the podcast. Here we are, week 6. But before I do that, as always, gonna give you a little recap for week 5. But I'm gonna toast to the pod. And here we go. So for week 5, I went 2-1 this week. Another great week for me. Some people that stepped up for me were Mike Williams, Ramondre Stevenson. Who else did I have? Kamara did real big for me. Kirk Cousins came through for me. Those are some of the studs for me. Some of my duds, man, Jared Goff. I was saying last week how Detroit averages 35, then you go from 35 to 0. That hurt me. I played Amon-Ra St. Brown. That hurt me. I knew to send him out because they have a bye week this week. We'll also talk about bye weeks for this week, but I should have sent him out, but I didn't. And then also I had Kyle Pitts, who was hurt for me, which is kind of a good thing. I didn't want to play him anyway. And somebody even asked me on my Instagram, I have Kyle Pitts. Who should I add from waivers? I said Will Dissly or Taysom Hill. And, I took Will Dissly. I should have took Taysom Hill. If I would have took Taysom Hill, I would have went undefeated this week. But who would have known he would have had over 30-plus fantasy points for this week? But hey, it's fantasy. It happens. So here we go for week 6. Give you some of my starts and sits for this week. Always follow me at GO Podcast on Instagram. And I'll be posting more start sit questions this weekend. And this week is the first week of byes. So this week on bye, we have Detroit, Tennessee, Raiders, and the Texans. So make sure this is when your depth comes into play. See who you have for your backup receivers, backup running backs, for your starters that you are expecting 20 points a week. This is when depth comes in to play for that. So be on the lookout for your bye weeks, who's coming up. You want to make sure that your big hitters, the one that you expect points from every week, you want to make sure they don't have bye weeks at the same time. That can really hurt your lineup. But for Sunday, we start with the 49ers are coming to Atlanta. For the 49ers, only person I'm starting is Deebo Samuel with confidence. For Atlanta, I'm not starting anybody. Nobody. I'm glad Tampa didn't embarrass us last week. We kept it close. But I'm not expecting any fantasy production from anybody on the offense. For the Patriots at the Browns, if Damian Harris doesn't play, Ramondre Stevenson will be a guaranteed top 5 running back this weekend. He should have a big game against the Browns. And for the Browns, you can also start Jacoby Myers. If you have like Amon-Ra St. Brown or Devontae Adams or Brandon Cooks, usually in your starting lineups, Jacoby Myers will be a good start in their replacement this week. And then for Cleveland, Chubb is always doing this thing. You can start him. You can start Njoku with confidence. And Amari Cooper has some flex potential. Then we have the Jets visiting the Packers. For the Jets, Breece Hall, he has finally taken over the starting running back for the Jets. Been doing this thing. You can start him with confidence. And that's about it. I hope Zach Wilson picks up the offense later on. I want to pick him up later on in the year, see how he does. And for the Packers, hopefully Rodgers is good to go with the thumb injury. But for them, you can start Rodgers. You can start Aaron Jones. I'm starting to fade A.J. Dillon. I don't like how they're using him at all. And you can start Lazard with confidence. He's been doing this thing. Then we have the Jaguars at the Colts. For the Jaguars, you can start Lawrence. I feel like he'll start to pick up with the offense. But they have a tough schedule coming up. But you can start Lawrence. You can start Kirk. Also Etienne. I'm not real big on James Robinson. For the Colts, I don't want to start anybody, but you can start Michael Pittman. Flex potential. I don't like their offense. Their offensive line, they can't protect Matt Ryan. Can't get the ball out. But hopefully Jonathan Taylor plays. Of course, you have to start him. But if not, either Nyheim Hines. He might still be in concussion protocol. If so, Deion Jackson has some great potential for you this week. Then we have the Vikings at the Dolphins. For the Vikings, you can start the whole offense. Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Jefferson, Thielen, even Irv Smith. If you need a tight end for this week, if you have like a Waller on your team. And then for Miami, with Tua and Bridgewater, not expected to play, I will fade the whole offense except Raheem Mostert. I think he has some great starting potential for you this week. For Cincinnati at the Saints, I have a lot of players, particularly on my teams in this game. So I'll be tuned into this one. For the Bengals, you can start the whole offense. Joe Mixon, of course. You can start Joey B at QB. If T. Higgins doesn't go, Tyler Boyd could be a great start for you in his place. For New Orleans, I actually have Taysom Hill this week, so I don't need him to repeat the 30 points, but just give me something. Just give me double-digit points from him. And then, of course, you can start Kamara. I don't believe Michael Thomas or Landry will be playing this week. So in that case, hopefully Olave will be over concussion protocol. You can start him with confidence. Then we have the Ravens at the Giants. For the Ravens, of course, you can start Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins. Devin Duvernay could give you some great points this week, especially if Rashad Bateman isn't to go. I don't think he's going to play. For the Giants, actually, I have Jared Goff on one of my teams, so I'm actually starting Daniel Jones this week. I'm pretty confident in their offense. They can put up points. I'm starting him and Saquon this week. For the Bucks at the Steelers, for the Bucks, you can start the whole offense. The whole Steelers team seems like they're injured. The whole defense, half their defense is going to be out this weekend. So expect Brady to put up big numbers. You can start Godwin, you can start Evans with confidence, and Fournette. For the Panthers at the Rams, it should be a get-right game for them. For the Panthers, they're going to have P.J. Walker at QB, so you can fade the receivers and tight ends. I'll still start McCaffrey with confidence, but that's about it. For the Rams, you can start Kupp, of course. Matthew Stafford should have a bounce-back game, and Higbee. Then we have the Cardinals at the Seahawks. For the Cardinals, Kyler could be a start for you this week. Seattle and Detroit have the worst defenses in the league. So anytime somebody plays either Detroit or Seattle, start the whole offense. So I'm going with Kyler. I'm going with Hollywood Brown. And Eno Benjamin will probably get the start because James Conner and Darrell Williams will be hurt. So Eno Benjamin can give you, he also has top 10 potential for this week. For Seattle, continue to start Geno, Tyler, and DK with confidence. This will be the first start for Kenneth Walker, and we'll see what he does because Rashad Penny is out for the season. But we all knew he wasn't going to last that long anyway. Then the game of the week, we have the Bills at the Chiefs, rematch of the AFC divisional game, I believe it was, from last year. For the Bills, start everyone. Josh Allen, Devin Singletary, Gabe Davis. Appreciate you for going off of me last week as well. I think he had 3 catches, 150 yards, 2 TDs. Crazy stat line. He's going to give you those up and down games. But I'm expecting a little bit something more from him. Hopefully he'll give me those AFC playoff numbers from last year when he had 4 TDs. But you can start him, Stephon Diggs, Dawson Knox if he's to go, and Isaiah McKenzie. For the Chiefs, you can start Mahomes, you can start CEH, I'll even start McKinnon. But none of the receivers still have stepped up to the plate. So whether it's Juju or MVS, take your pick. Who knows who's going to go off between them. But of course, you got to start Kelsey, especially after his 4 TD game from Monday night. And then the Sunday night game, this also be a good game. We have the Cowboys at the Eagles. For the Cowboys, not expecting Dak to play. So you can go with Zeke and CeeDee Lamb if he's a go. You can start them. And hopefully they'll start getting Pollard more involved with offense. Last week he had a long TD run. Hopefully he'll get their starting job soon. And for the Eagles, you can continue to play Hurts, Miles Sanders, A.J. Brown, and even Devontae Smith. And Goddard is still doing this thing. He still have putting up top tight end numbers for this year. And then for that Monday night, we have the Broncos visiting the Chargers. Why they continue to put the Broncos on primetime TV, I do not know. But for the Broncos, the only person I'm starting with confidence will be Melvin Gordon and Courtland Sutton. And for the Chargers, only person I'm going to go with is, I'm going to go with Herbert. I'm going to go with Eckler, Mike Williams. If Keenan Allen is a go, you can start him. If not, Joshua Palmer, put him in his place, and also Gerald Everett. So that is my rundown for week 6. Look for my start sit questions on my Instagram page at GO Podcast. This is your boy Country Boy. Y'all have a great weekend.